Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. Judy here. If you're interested in fascinating discoveries in the world of science, you've come to the right place. And if you like the content on this channel, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. It won't cost you anything. Thank you. Before we dive into today's topic, please allow me to thank the friends who bought me coffee from my website last week. Thank you so much for your kind support, my friends. Thank you. My friends, I guess you know that I'm a huge dog lover, and I've talked about some interesting topics about dogs. Of course, if you're a new friend you might not know, please check them out in the description or comments. Anyway, I had two dogs, Ben and Candy. Ben was lost in a dog park in 2003, and Candy was died of breast cancer in 2016. And if you read the free small book, Candy the dog, you'd know that Candy gave birth to 3 children, or I should say 3 puppies, in 2012. Back then, I was a college student, and I had some British friends. Many of them asked me to name Candy's puppies after them, and one of them was Tim, who was a bartender. Yeah, we exchanged languages on Skype, and later I graduated from college. Some friends, including Kim, visited Candy and her puppies. If I didn't mention where Tim came from in the book Candy the dog, he came from Bristol. Speaking of Bristol, there's good news. Researchers at the universities of Bristol and Manchester found that dogs can be trained to smell Parkinson's disease years before symptoms occur. Yeah, I know there's no early test for Parkinson's disease, and symptoms may start after 20 years before they become visible and persistent, leading to confirmed diagnosis. But my friends, dogs are known to have incredible senses of smell. A dog has a much better smelling ability than humans do. And some previous studies have found that dogs can smell their human parents' stress, coronavirus infections, and even cancers. You might say, okay, dogs have incredible senses of smell, but do people with Parkinson's have an odor? Well, the answer is yes, they have an odor that can be reliably detected from skin swabs. Many years ago, a British woman, Joy Milne, could smell the oily secretion 12 years before her husband's diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. Yeah, Milne is a Scottish nurse known as the Super Smiler, and in 2015 she became famous among neuroscientists because of her extraordinary abilities. And then she correctly identified each patient with Parkinson's disease based solely on the scent of their shirts in a small study. So, based on Milne's experience, researchers at Manchester found the odor compounds that set the distinctive smell of Parkinson's apart. And then These researchers and the ones at the University of Bristol trained two dogs to see if they could distinguish between dry skin swabs from people with and without Parkinson's disease. Fortunately, they found that dogs can be trained to sniff out telltale signs of Parkinson's disease from skin swabs with high degrees of certainty. According to the results, the dogs showed up to 80% high sensitivity and 98% specificity between samples of patients with Parkinson's disease and control subjects. Sounds fascinating, right? After all, timely diagnosis is key. If dogs can detect the disease long before the symptoms appear, early treatment could slow down the progression of the disease. And my friends, if you are interested in knowing the details about this topic, please check out the related articles in the description. Okay, my friends, in case you don't know me yet, I'm Judy Plus, London, a fan of Jack London. I'm a published writer who writes fiction and non-fiction novels and short stories. You're very welcome to visit my website, judypluslondon.com or Amazon to read my poems and my short stories. The last one, Mr. Rat, Candy the dog, and so on, and my latest non-fiction book, Living with the Walking Dead, a roadmap for achieving your own success. I hope to see you there, and thank you so much for your kind support, and thank you very much for subscribing to my YouTube channels, Judy Plus London and Judy Plus. Judy Plus London is a channel that mainly talks about culture, economics, and dictators and various events and people in human history, while Judy Plus is a channel that talks about interesting discoveries in the world of science.